Test, test, 1 2 1 2 test. Okay. We've got some Donkey Kong Country music in the background. Mix. Hopefully it's not too loud. I may actually turn it down a bit. Just a wee bit. Okay, it's a bit loud. I just want something to play in the background. It's gonna be a bit of an unscripted video. I already made this as a template. But yeah, I'm mastering Jamie. So, and I have quite a few games to say the least. And I played a lot of people, a lot of good people. So I feel like my opinion on this, and excuse any background noise, this is kind of just like a sudden recording. I don't really do stuff like this, but I feel like my opinion on Jamie is not completely solidified, because of course you can't beat the game's only been up for a month and a bit. But I think it's like set in stone what I want to do, at least for now. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Which character should we start with? I don't know if I should start with the matchup, or like if I should put them all and then explain them, or explain them as I put them. I may explain them as I put them. I think that'll be better. But and then I'll just put a timestamp where you can check the final matchup chart, because I know people like that, and I'm gonna post on my Twitter, obviously. I don't know if I want to go alphabetical. If I want to, okay. I think I'll start with the obvious ones. So right away, I think his worst matchup is Guile. This isn't ordered, by the way, because it's just like I'm just gonna put them in. Guile, he can really shut down. You can't drink for free because of Boom. He's got an EX reversal, which is really good. He's got really good buttons, especially his crouch medium kick. I think his crouch medium kick is very good. He has a lot of ways to kind of just shut down Jamie's plan, because Jamie really sucks versus zoners. And the problem with sucking versus zoners is that Guile's, because there's a difference between Guile zoning and Luke zoning, in the sense where it's like Luke can throw fireballs and still shut down free drinks from Jamie. I'll get to that in a bit. But Guile can shut down Jamie in a way where it's like, even if you jump over his booms, even if you're slightly late, you will still get anti-air, right? So you really have to be careful and approach Guile. It's very much, because the way you play Guile as Jamie, for the people that don't know, one of the more optimal ways, I play like this sometimes given the Guile, but sometimes I don't, it depends. A very optimal way to play this matchup, I'm not joking, is to get the life lead with Jamie and run away. And the reason why is because if you just sit there and parry and then just chill, you have to force Guile to approach you. And then if Guile approaches you, that's where you can kind of push him into the corner slowly, and then eventually get your offense on and get the Jamie 50-50s. Because once you get Jamie 50-50s going, it's over for every character. So yeah, I think that's a very bad matchup. What about a matchup I think is very easy? I think Zangief is very easy. He has really good quote-unquote gorilla buttons, but his neutral is not that good. Once he gets one SPD, his Oki is kind of like, it's not very good, to be honest, because it leaves you so far away that you kind of have to take a risk to get Oki. For example, you have to do his, I forgot what the move is, but it's like his overhead kick. I'm pretty sure it's an overhead. The big flip kick. And that's very minus and very easy to look out for. Or you have to do something like a hard knockdown. Or like get a knockdown with like sweep or some shit. So once he gets his offense going, even then it's still very hard, because Jamie also has an EX reversal, which is obviously very good in this game. On top of that, once Jamie gets in, Geef literally can't do anything, especially given his level 1 being an anti-air and also not being invincible. I don't actually know if it's invincible, because it's an anti-air. Even if it is, it won't work. So, for example, in Burner, Jamie can get the infinite going. And it's very easy to do. Where if he hits you once in Burner, he can just do the crash light punch, standing heavy punch infinite, and it's 3-frame gap, so you have to do a level 3 or level 2 as Geef. That's obviously very expensive. So yeah, I do think one thing very good about Geef in this matchup is that if you do, I think his SPD is 5 frames. I could be wrong. I think SPD, because it's 5 frames, if you do a misspaced Rekka, like Rekka 1, and you, like, for example, crouch medium punch or crouch medium kick or something into like light Rekka, and you do that, Geef is one of the few characters that can consistently punish a misspaced one. Luke can do it too. I'll get to that, because that's really fucking annoying. I actually didn't know at first, because I thought Geef, like, he could do it, but I didn't expect it to be as effective as it was until I fought good Giefs. So you really have to watch out for your spacing. But at the same time, it's also like you also can just kind of flail versus Gief, and he can't really do anything about it, and that's what makes the matchup really, really bad for him and really good for us. And yeah, those are my thoughts on Gief, honestly. Lily. I think Lily is a very. I think Lily is the weirdest matchup in this game. Well, okay, I gotta make a new one. I think I gotta make a new tier because Lily is very, very weird. Very, very weird matchup. Let me change this to yellow. Then I'll change this to light green. We'll call this 5.5, 4.5, and we'll say it's like equal, but he has a bit more stuff. So, okay, this matchup is very weird. I played someone in my region who's very, very, very strong with Lily, and I played a lot of other like really, really, really good Master Rank Lilies. And this matchup is weird because it's like her normals, like her disjointed normals, can really, really fuck you up. EX Condor Spire, obviously it's good, but I mean OD Condor Spire. I keep saying EX. OD Condor Spire, obviously really good, but it's also like you can beat it out by just doing drive reversal. In case you didn't know, if you just block the first hit and then you drive reversal, it'll get it every time, and you kind of gain an advantage there because she spends more meter than you, and you still get like a drink. She's one of the few characters that she can't stop a drink, but you can't stop a Windstock. Like if she's full screen, so it's kind of like if she wants to charge her mechanic full screen, then you can charge yours, which is very, very bad for her. But it's also good for her because she can get wins, and when she's with Wind, that's when she becomes like a good character with like Condor Spire and shit like that. And obviously command grab, her pressure can be very suffocating at times, given she's like a very, very command grab heavy, like a grappler, but she also has a neutral skip. There's a lot of counterplay to her shit, but it's also like if she just stands there and just wants to play the nooch game, she kind of can with her like long-reaching buttons. And Jamie, because all of his buttons are well attached to his limbs, he doesn't have any like disjoints to beat that, so it can be tough. But at the same time, it's also like because she doesn't have an EX reversal, once she gets to the corner, she's like double fucked. Like where Guile is like fucked, she's like double fucked. Because what you can do is that, so when Jamie does level 2, when he gets to 2 drinks, level 2, and he does light breakdance, he gets if he holds up forward, he gets a safe jump. He can either do an overhead, or he can do a low, or he can do a command grab if he's level 3 or higher. You can even do it with light DP. And non-reversal characters, they have to throw, and obviously throwing is a risk because I can just like throw back, or I can walk back a tiny bit, or I can jump again or some shit. There's just so much stuff you can do, right? But when you have an EX reversal, if I go for the low or the throw, you can EX reversal out. But you can't EX reversal the overhead, which is the whole 50-50 mix-up, which is probably one of the strongest mix-ups in the game, in my opinion. And it's looping. So, because she doesn't have an EX reversal, that really, really suffers. And outside of the mix, also like, just in pressure versus Jamie, when she gets pressured, it's a big struggle. Because she can't like get out for free. But yeah, I don't think this matchup bad at all for Lily. I do think it's a losing matchup for her, slight losing, but I don't think it's bad at all because it's probably one of the weirdest matchup I've played. It's very weird. Let's go. I'll do Ken last because I have a lot to say about Ken because my training partner plays Ken, and I know a lot about Jamie Ken, and there's a lot to say. What's another matchup that I'm thinking about? Honda? Honda's a weird case. I want to say that Honda's... I'll say it's 5.5 or 5.54. See, this is a tough one, right? Because Optimal Honda is good, but he's also kind of gimmicky. Like, Honda's very gimmicky, and Jamie Crouch Medium Punch beating out Headbutt every time is very gimmicky. Same with this. I think they well... No, I think he's 5.5. I'll explain him in a bit. But Honda's very like. So the thing about Honda, the reason why I put him in Lily is for the exact same reason. It's kind of like he can play the same neutral game. He has a command grab and all that stuff, and he can like fucking headbutt and like butt slam, and it's very obnoxious. But the one thing he doesn't have is an EX reversal. Now you might say, oh yeah, OD headbutt is a reversal, right? Because you know it's unsafe and like it armors. there is a setup, many setups, because it breaks armor, right? If Jamie does crouch, if he does sweep into the target combo, it leaves him -4 basically all the time. If he does that into meaty heavy punch, he's not only safe, but it also breaks the OD reversal, which means he has to spend super meter. If he doesn't spend bar, then he doesn't get a reversal. He can't get out of the pressure and stuff. So it's very difficult. But another thing he can do another thing that he can't do that characters like Guile or like Luke or Ryu or even JP can do is the fact that once you get him into the corner, he doesn't really have like I was gonna say OD reversal, and I realized I already said it. He doesn't really have a way to kind of enforce his game plan on Jamie, because like sure he has a lot of plus buttons and stuff like that. Like he has stand medium punch. I'm pretty sure that's the plus button. He has his command grab to do shit. He has headbutt if you want to do that. He has butt slam. But the thing is, because a lot of that isn't straight up just like neutral game where it's like Ken. Oh sorry, I think Luke's the best example. Where it's like Luke, I'm just gonna press like crouch medium punch, and then I'm gonna do like spaced fireball and be +1, +2, just abuse the plus frames. I think Honda kind of plays the game where he also has to look out for an EX reversal, and I don't know ways Honda has to bait it that are like plus, other than just like safe jump or block, and I don't really know about any Honda safe jumps because no Honda has ever done a safe jump in their life. So he has a lot of, I think it's even because we can kind of play the exact same neutral game, and the same thing as Lily, but it's also like because both of them have like neutral skips that can be beaten out very like pretty consistently and safely, and it doesn't make the matchup bad. And because we play neutral on like a similar level, kind of, I think Honda has like some bigger buttons, so it's pretty hard, and the stand heavy punch is pretty obnoxious versus dive kick. But other than that, I don't think he really has anything to really push him over the edge to an equal matchup because of that EX reversal thing, and that's going to be a very big problem with matchups with Jamie, where if you don't have an EX reversal, you're kind of fucked because he just has looping shit. Let's think of another matchup right now. I want to put Chun-Li, but it's Chun-Li's probably the matchup that's the hardest for me to talk about because she's she's a very weird character. But I think it's 5-5. Well, no, I think it's 5-5. So obviously she has EX up kicks, and EX up kick obviously EX reversal. So because you have an OD reversal, and sorry for using OD and EX interchangeably, but you know I'm an old school player. Like 3S and shit, so it's hard to not mix them up sometimes. But because she has OD up kicks, it becomes like automatically, I think, much better than these three characters, or just look straight up, because she can get out of a lot of fake shit that Jamie does. She has very strong buttons. Her stance is very good. I think her fireball is also extremely good, and it's also because she can do this like a slow traveling Kikoken, and she can kind of just walk behind that slowly. That's very strong versus Jamie, because not only does he lose to zoning, he also struggles versus, for example, when Guile does, I think one of the most obnoxious things versus Jamie as Guile is when he does Sonic Blade into Light Sonic Boom, so then it slowly travels and then he just walks behind it. Because he can just do crouch fist at any time, you can't really dive kick or like avoid it. And because he's just going to block on reaction to anything that you do, like a Buckeye, he kind of just fucking explode. So, but she has that kind of thing. I do think we have equal amounts of footsies, because I think Jamie has some of the best footsies in the game. Like, he has really strong buttons, stand heavy kick, stand medium kick, extremely strong. Drive rush, stand heavy punch, neutral skip is probably one of the best things in the game, in my opinion. One of the best neutral options in the game, because, you know, frame 5, +1 on block, skips neutral, 3 hits so it breaks DI and armor, and you can cancel it even if you want to. So it's like he has everything for that one situation. So yeah, it's kind of like a situation where I think Chun-Li and Jamie sort of play like a similar, they can play a similar, not have to, but they can play a similar like neutral footsies based game. And because of that, and because she has an EX reversal, I do think it's kind of even to sort of equal on that level. Because Jamie, once he gets started, obviously fucking destroys her, because that's what he does to every character. but she can also shut him down for trying to get started by doing slow Kikoken into like follow. And she also has pretty good pressure with like the overhead and the fucking stance and all that shit. And she can do some very obnoxious stuff. But yeah, other than that, I think we just play a similar game. You know, I can just play like the crouch medium kick Rekka game, and it's like she can't really do anything about that, other than just like, you know, play the same game, and that's why I think it's even. What else? I would want to say Cammy's on the same level as that for the exact same reasons, but at the same time, it's also like I feel like Cammy has a lot of weird stuff. Like spin, obviously spin knuckle's very good for projectiles, but Jamie doesn't have a projectile, so I don't really know why she'd use that. She has a lot of similar tools to Jamie, like a dive kick that's like decent. I think her dive kick's better than Jamie's by a bit, but they both have like a decent dive kick. They both have EXDPs. They both have plus and block buttons. It's like there's a lot of stuff where if you look out for what she's going to be doing, like for example, if she does a spaced spiral arrow and you can like take back your turn even though you can't punish, it's a big. She can like reset her pressure a lot with like her crouch heavy punch and stuff like that, and it's kind of on a similar level where because Jamie gets to push his offense, and also at the same time he doesn't get to lose that offense because of some like zoning mechanic or anything like that. Not zoning mechanic, but like projectile or anything like that. She has to kind of play the same game, and that's a running thing that you'll see, is that when you don't have an EX reversal or you don't have a projectile to do with something against Jamie, you'll see a lot of problems. Like you have to have something obnoxious, because then Jamie will just keep fucking you up. And if you don't have that, you have to be extremely fast, which we'll get to in a sec. One thing I do want to add about Chun-Li, and I think Cammy's the exact same, is that because Chun-Li's a very weird character, because the safe jump, like, it works against her, but there's some situations like after EX Palm, if you do EX Palm Light DP, it won't work against her. It won't work against a couple of characters. Like, the safe jump that you do, you have to do Light Punch versus Honda and Marisa, because they have armored moves, in order for it to actually safe jump. If you do heavy, then it'll hit you. So there's a lot of weird nuance. Like, for example, if you do a medium kick and you jump over, you'll cross up if they do if they do nothing, but you also cross up if they do like EX up kicks. But then same thing with Ken, is that you will cross up if he does DP after that, after EX palm into medium DP. But you also cross up if he does EX DP on wake up into it, or just like blocks in the corner. So there's a lot of like nuance between the like Chun, Cammy, and like Ken when it comes to wake up reversals, because it's very common with reversals that aren't like because like there are basically all the EX reversals in this game, like the ones that like are traditional EX reversals, like not Jamie's not a good example, like Chun-Li, Cammy, Blanka's a very good example. Well, he's a bit weird, but I think he's the same. Juri's probably the best example of it. Luke, all of the like uppercuts and stuff like that, the traditional uppercuts, because they move forward and he does it, he can cross up and get the punish, right? So there's a lot of nuance. Jamie has very, very advanced sort of like setups and tech that you have to kind of know about. Like there are a lot of times where like I would cross up, and I really still need to lap this, where sometimes I would cross up in the corner randomly, and instead of getting command grab, I'd get Bakai. And you'd hit them, counter hit, because they probably would expect a command grab, and holy shit, he crossed up and hit me with a move that I couldn't look for because it was light, you know. There's a lot of crazy shit, but I'm rambling at this point. So yeah, these two played a very similar game versus Jamie. You know, just traditional footsies. You want to look to whiff punish, and when you get them in the corner, you want to do traditional Street Fighter 6 pressure. Blanka. I think, Blanka's a weird one. I think it's either here or here, and the reason why, and I don't know if Jamie plays with. By the way, I haven't looked at any Jamie matchup charts or anything. This is just judged from me and like talking to the Jamie Discord and like being a very prominent day one Jamie player. Since Jamie was revealed, I've been like a huge fan, and I've been playing him since he was playable. So this is just judging from like my opinion personally. And I'll send this to the Jamie Discord. If they disagree with me, I'll be more than happy to talk and try to discuss and get another opinion, because this is just from my shit. So Blanka He's either in here or here, honestly. He's definitely interchangeable. The reason why I put him here over here, maybe, is because of Blanka-chan. And this may sound corny as fuck, but the thing about Blanka-chan is the fact that you can just put it, and if you just put it on the floor, especially with EX, if you do EX Lightning, or EX Thunder, I actually don't remember what the traditional name is. If you do EX Lightning, which is what I call it, Electricity, that's it, I keep forgetting the word. If you do EX Electricity, or OD Electricity, sorry, and you know how the Blanka-chan starts jumping? If you do that, it's so fucking obnoxious, especially if you just have dive kick, like one drink. And if he does the normal one where Blanka-chan just starts walking, or like running or whatever, he can't, like, just sit there and just do nothing, right? So he has to look to jump. And obviously Blanka has, like, I don't know what the exact Blanka etiquette that they use is, but stand heavy punch, I see it a lot. They can, you know, just jump attack if they want to. They can just sit there and do up ball if they want to. If they really want to get antsy with it, they can do like the stance, the crouching stance into the head, into the punch. I don't know any of the names. He's a very, very obscure character, but you can just kind of like look for that. But other than that, I think you play the exact same way you play. You play the exact same way you play Honda, just with an EX reversal, and that's why it would be here. So it would be here if he didn't have an EX reversal, like that wasn't beatable, like a headbutt, EX headbutt. It's here because he has a traditional EX reversal that have to safe jump, and then it's here because of Blanka-chan, in my opinion. The only thing that I think would bring it up here, for me, and I may change it up here to later, because honestly, it's literally so close to here that it doesn't. I don't even know if it should go here, but for now I'm gonna put it here. Is that Blanka-chan, you only have 2. Right, and you get only 1 stock, I think, every round. Like if you go to the next round and you save 2, then you have 2, and if you go to the next round you have 1, then you get 2. I think something like that. If you have 0, you get 1, and you have to do the taunt or some shit. So because of that, I think it's you can't really just abuse it like something like Sonic Boom. But I don't think it's that bad, honestly. I think you play the exact same. It's very, 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 very winnable. It's possibly equal footing. So I think it's at the very, very, very lowest tier, or the highest tier, honestly. Dhalsim? A lot of people are going to disagree. I think Dhalsim is either hard or like at the top of has some issues. I actually don't know. I think Dhalsim's a hard matchup, honestly. I'm just going to say it. His teleport isn't like, obviously teleport's good, right? But if you use it in neutral, you're just going to get jabbed, and I'm just going to DP you every time, right? Because it's very easy to react to. It's probably one of the most easy things to react to in the game. The problem is that Yoga, the new Yoga, I don't know what you call it. Like, he has Yoga Fire, and then I don't know what the up one is. Yoga Up Fire. I'm just gonna call it the Up Yoga Fire. When he does Up Yoga Fire, it's fucking obnoxious. Especially the one, I think it's OD, where it starts bouncing. It's probably the most obnoxious thing to deal with in the matchup, by far. Obviously, Dhalsim has very good pressure. He's got very good mix after knockdown if he gets the, I think it was Heavy Yoga Blast. I don't know if it was the new move or whatever. The one that I remember watching Problem X's, not Problem X. I remember watching Mr. Crimson, that's his name. I remember watching Mr. Crimson's guide, and he told us about how you can like do it and then you're +3, so you can get like a 50-50, not a 50-50, but like a left-right after you can do Yoga Flame, Yoga Fire, sorry. And then get a 50-50 cross-up or same side teleport, and then you just get a combo. I think that's obviously good. He kind of just like, he can keep you out. Because he can keep you out, you can't really get drinks because he can just start shooting fireballs all over the place. And keep in mind, I've only played like about like 20 Dhalsims probably in my whole time, and I have like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, I don't know 3,000, but I think I have like over 2,000 games at this point, maybe almost 2,000. So I have quite a few games. But I think Dhalsim is hard in the sense that like you can't really get drinks for free when he's in the. Well, I just thought about it actually. Hold on. I think the only reason why it's down there is because it has an EX reversal, and again, EX reversal against Jamie, the best thing you can have. Honestly, like the best thing you can have is an EX reversal versus Jamie. He gets you out a lot of fake shit. Well, not EX reversal, not just EX reversal. Having a good projectile is very good, which is why Dhalsim is down here. Without an EX reversal, he gets fucked up. But because he has so many tools to keep him out, and for example, heavy kick into fireball, and then you can just like, oh, I'm getting a drink full screen, boom, heavy kick, punish counter. I think that's his punish counter button. I forgot because I haven't played Dhalsim in a while. You get heavy kick, punish counter, and then you get DR, and then you get slide, I think, and then you get a full combo. I think that's very strong. there's a lot of stuff where it's just kind of obnoxious, and a lot of Dhalsims that play Rushdown, you can do that versus Jamie, but a lot of the time you can just try to keep him out, because when you keep Jamie out and you don't let him get drinks, that's his worst position. So I think that's a bad matchup for sure. I think Dee Jay's hard. I think Dee Jay's worse than Guile because of Guile boom. His booms have a lot more recovery as air slashes. Obviously he's got an Ex reversal. He's got incredible pressure with the stance. Not the, I forget the just cool, the sway, the Guilty Gear Slayer, sway. Sorry. He's got a lot of strong tools. He's got very good buttons. I think Dee Jay's only flaw as a character is that some of his buttons DI aren't cancelable, so they're susceptible to DI. But I don't even think that's a huge issue that brings him down. I think his booms have a lot of recovery, especially the double boom, the heavy air slasher. So when he does double air slasher, you kind of just have to look out for that, and then Jamie can get a jump and punish. Obviously he's got really good safe jumps, really good mix. He's got extreme amounts of damage, and he's got a really good EX reversal that I have to safe jump every time, so I can't do like any gimmicks or anything. He's got so much fucking shit that he can just kind of bully you with, and yeah, it's kind of a similar story to Guile, where he can just sit back and zone you if you want to get drinks, and you can't really do that. Once you get in, you can kind of fuck him up like every character in the game. But he can also, unlike Guile, get it. Well, Guile can play a good rushdown game, but not as good as Dee Jay in my opinion. Where Dee Jay gets in and he can just fucking kill you, especially if any hit. And he has a lot of good pokes, and he shimmies very well with the stand heavy punch. Just a lot of really good shit to do that against. What's another character I want to see? I think Manon's very weird. Yeah, I'd say Manon is here. Not here, definitely not here, because she has some good tools. So obviously no EX reversal, horrible. She has some good buttons, but it's not amazing. So where it's like she kind of just has to try and get in versus Jamie. And Jamie, he can't really get a lot of free drinks versus her, because if she does the I don't know what you call it. The nickname, I don't know if anyone else gives the nickname, but the nickname my scene says is the toe sniper, the 214 LK. If she does quarter circle back short, the one where she slides on the floor, it can catch him if he's trying to get like a free drink in or something like that. Obviously not full screen or anything, but yeah, you kind of struggle versus that. Obviously she has the command grab pressure and stuff like that. She has some good buttons to fight Jamie. Like stand heavy kick, I think is a pretty good button. I think stand heavy punch is a decent button too. Overall, she kind of just wants to get in versus Jamie, and Jamie can just... If someone wants to get in versus Jamie, it's a problem. And the reason why is because if you don't want to just play the footsie game and you don't have good footsies, Jamie fucks you up. Because he can just look for free drinks. And although she has some ways to counter it, because her drive rush is extremely... I think it's either slow or short range or both. I think it's both. Because it's kind of like Jamie's, but like slower and shorter. She can't really punish you for doing that. She doesn't really have any forward advancing buttons other than like heavy kick. Which Jamie has like... Jamie can do like drive rush... forward heavy kick and like fucking teleport across the screen, and she can't really do that. I'm tempted. It's a hard matchup. Well, it's not a hard match. It's a hard matchup for her, in the sense where I'm tempted to put it up here, but she kind of has more than Geef, where it's like she can kind of play neutral or right. So it's either here or here. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I think it's at the end of here. I think this is worse than yeah. I may order this. If I was to order this, I'd put up here. I'd put you worse than you worse than, yeah. I'm gonna put it up here ordered just so they know. Left is better, right is worse. Yeah, I think that's it. Let's do ordered. I want to make it very clear. Ordered. I don't want it to look bad though. Okay, I think that's fine. Whatever. Left is better, right is worse. Okay. So yeah, I think this is the best matchup. I think this is the worst matchup by far. Could use the voice crack. Yeah, I think this matchup is just—it's kind of like Geef, but she just has better shit. So it's kind of just the same thing, honestly. And I don't really think I've struggled versus Manon except when I was like not very good. Because good Manon can like fuck you up. Same with good Geef. The problem is that they have to work 10 times harder than me to do the shit that I do, and they have no real way to fuck me up with getting drinks and shit. With metals obviously being strong and shit like that, etc. I I think Ryu's 5-5. I think Ryu's better than Cammy, but well, no, I think Ryu's worse than Cammy in this matchup. Oh, no, sorry, I think Ryu's better matchup for Jamie, easier matchup. I think having a fireball is very strong. Having ways to shut down, especially with Denjin fireball, ways to shut down full screen drink is very strong. The problem is that he doesn't have. He has good pressure. I think Ryu has fine pressure, right? Like he's solid, traditional strike throw, and then throw loops and shit, and then DP, and then fireball. I think it's also like he has a lot of ways. For example, if Ryu wants a Denjin charge and he's just throwing fireballs, he can like start jumping over the fireballs. And if Ryu wants to sneak in a Denjin charge, Jamie can instantly react and then get a free drink, because by the time the fireball will come to him, he'll be able to parry or block. Most of the time, if you're like full screen, by the way, or like 3/4 screen. If you're half screen, it's pretty difficult, but it may still work. The reason why is because Cammy has like a plus on block button that she can kind of abuse and like pretty good pressure and like meaty spiral arrow and hooligan and like a lot of good shit, and Chun-Li has stance and stuff. Ryu doesn't really have that. He's plus on block button stand heavy kick, which I always thought stand medium punch was plus until like 2 weeks ago when I looked at I fought a Ryu and I'm like, what if I just press? And then I looked at fat 4m3, which I have all the time open just in case. And I looked at it and I'm like, huh. And then I checked that stand medium punch is +1 and I'm like, what the fuck? It's kind of stupid. But yeah, he's not really like plus in anything, and he doesn't have like the shit that Ken has, which I'll get to. Ken is fucking obnoxious. But he doesn't really have the stuff that Ken has, where it's like he can sort of mix you up, and he can do like heavy dragon lash, and he can do XYZ to just like kind of fuck you up. Ryu doesn't really have that. He kind of just has to play the patient game, and then if he wants to get something like heavy Hoshogeki to like get plus frames, he kind of has to risk it because it's very reactable. So he can kind of do all that shit. So yeah, I think it's better than an easier matchup than Cammy, but not much easier. I think Cammy just has better shit. I think Marisa is here, maybe. Oh, I think she's here. I think she has extremely high damage. She's very good. She's got obviously EX Scudum with the armored stance, which is good. But at the same time, it's an armored stance, so you can do the exact same shit you do with him. And you can also, if she doesn't do EX, then it's not frame 1. I'm pretty sure. I think it's frame 3. Like JP's counter. We'll get to that. And you can also beat it with lows, unless it's EX. And if it's EX, then you can't. So if she does OD Scudum, then it's a good reversal. But she can do the same thing she does with Honda. So it's kind of the exact same thing. You know, she has a lot of neutral skips. Her neutral, I think, is alright, but I don't think it's very great, because she doesn't really have any, you know, crazy buttons. She has like charge stand heavy punch, which is really good. Stand heavy punch is good. Regular stand heavy punch. She's got a lot of good shit, but it's kind of weird because she can't really like look for any ways to. Well, she has like the command grab to open him up and stuff like that, but she can't really look for any ways to get out of his pressure consistently. Especially considering she can't convert off lights, like crash lights, consistently. I don't think she can drive rush after the light and then get a combo. I think that's her main struggle. She has to just do 2-on-4 LP. Yeah, I think it's a very similar case to I think it's a similar case to like these matchups, where it's like they have all of these characters have a lot of quote-unquote gimmicks, but not in the sense where it's like they have gimmicks to like kind of counter what Jamie can offer in a sense. And he can get a lot of free drinks because she's very slow. She has EX, or she has heavy phalanx, which is plus, but he can react to that, and he has DP, obviously light DP, and he can get Oki. So it's kind of like this matchup in a lot of ways. You know, neutral skip plus on block, even though this isn't plus. No, like neutral skip, safe on block, shit. She has a lot of stuff, but I think it's fine. Let's just a quick rundown with her. I think Kimberly is very weird. I think Kimberly's up here too. A lot of people think that like it'll be down here. It could be. The thing about Kimberly is that she has a lot of plus on block stuff. She has very good Oki, very good pressure. The thing is she doesn't have an EX reversal, so it's the exact same case of like, and she can't really gimmick Jamie out. She has ways to. I think she's better than. She's like almost here, but the problem is that no EX reversal. A lot of ways to gimmick Jamie out, but they're very counterable. She has like EX slides. Oh no, sorry, not EX slide. She has run slide to stop him from trying to drink full screen. Plus some block stuff. A lot of setups. You know, she can just do the regular like strike throw game too. Spray can, Oki and shit is very strong. The problem is kind of just like, because she just doesn't have an EX reversal, she really sucks on defense. Like, she has to spend meter, and even then Jamie can do a lot of stuff to kind of just like bait that extremely well, and she can't really do stuff about that. Yeah, I don't think this is a bad matchup at all. I think this is very normal for Jamie. I do think, like, so a lot of these characters aren't bad. Like, a lot of these characters do fine versus Jamie, and they would be 5-5 just for the lack of EX reversal, or like a good way to counter his offense, or like his fake shit, and like no real projectile or anything like that to like kind of just like stop him from doing stuff. I think the only reason why it's as low as, or like the only reason why Jamie slightly wins this matchup, like has a bit more stuff, is because of the fact that like they really can keep offense, but like on defense they crumble. Like, I can do a lot of fake stuff and it works versus them, like fake resets and shit, because they don't have EX reversals to counter that, so they have to spend meter. Now we'll get to some of the bad matchups. I think Luke is better than these two. Well, I think Luke is worse than, or an easier matchup, sorry, than Dhalsim. He's got plus and block button. He can punish Rekka from further away than most characters, because crouch medium punch is -6 and Rekka is -6. So even if you space it, he can do crouch medium punch. But even then, it's a bit. There's no real risk to it, because like, okay, if I space it and then I mash crouch medium punch, I'm gonna beat it, right? I mean crouch light punch, I'm gonna beat it, or at least trade. But there's no real risk because. Oh, sorry, not trade. I would beat it because like the spacing, right? So it's like if he throws out a button, then I'll punish the recovery with crouch light punch or crouch medium punch or anything. But it's kind of the problem where it's like he has really good pressure. He's got a really strong EX reversal. He's got really good corner carry, especially when he uses drive rush, raw drive rush, and then he does crouch heavy punch into perfect light knuckle into run shoulder tackle. I think that's very strong. I think heavy knuckles. I think heavy knuckles good for combos and stuff because the corner carry it gives. I think fireball is very obnoxious versus Jamie, so he kind of just stops him from doing anything. He's just really good overall, and I think having that really strong fireball, kind of just the laser beam, the footsie beam, really just like complements that gameplay and fucks him up. And I think Juri's in the same boat. I think she's better than Blanka. She's in the same boat, which she's good fireball and stuff, but I think she's better than Blanka, but worse. Or like a worse matchup than Blanka, but a better matchup for Jamie than Luke, for the sense that she can kind of like, she can fish for you to not only just press a button, but also just try to drink. And because the drive rush is so fast, like you can check it, but if you're in the middle of a drink animation, for example, you just fucking die. Her pressure's very good. She has a very strong. She's got the Dorito fireball, which is a classic. Her light fuha. She has good pressure. She's got obviously the level 2. Fuck, what's the name? I just forgot. I always say it all the time. I'll think of it in a bit. Feng Shui engine. If she does the Feng Shui engine and shit like that, you kind of just explode because, you know, 50-50s over and over, and then fucking safe jump, and then overhead, and then whatever, throw. And she's got so much strong shit to counter Jamie. But I think the drive rush is really obnoxious, kind of like Dee Jay. And also because she has a really good projectile that kind of just stops Jamie in his tracks, and she can walk behind that projectile is very good. But I don't think it's extremely bad. I just think it's a problem. It's a pretty big problem. I think Ken is actually no, I'll talk about Ken last. I said I'll talk about Ken last. I think JP's either here or at the end of here, at the beginning of here, at the end of here, because I think he's at the end of here. I think he's either better than it's either a worse matchup than Dee Jay or it's a better matchup than Dee Jay. I can't tell. I'm gonna put it worse, and the reason why is because he obviously has EX reversal that beats throws, and that's very strong because Jamie has, you know, the command grab mix and stuff like that, so it will beat that. Jamie has a lot of counters to beat it, but he has to spend meter if he wants to do like some setups and stuff like that, like meaty crouch jab into EX command grab into DI, and then it will beat it and give you a punish counter, so you get a lot of damage with the punish counter. It's straight up just really strong zoning, obviously because he's a zoner. He's got, you know, he's got pretty good normals, like long reaching. Some of them are disjointed, I think. His jump light kick is kind of obnoxious at times, but it's fine. I don't think that's the big issue. I think he also has like the really good zoning, feints, shit like that. He can kind of just stop Jamie, especially if he wants to get drinks. He can do EX spike, or he can just do regular spike and just fuck him up. You know, teleport, not teleport, sorry, he can do portal, and that's very strong versus Jamie, because if Jamie wants to approach, he can either teleport, or he can do the spike out of the portal. He has a lot of really strong options. I think it's very hard. And obviously having a really strong EX reversal, especially one that's stronger than the other characters, is fucked. I think the only reason why it's not worse than Guile is because I think Guile's zoning is better in this, like at least versus Jamie, in the sense that like he can kind of like walk behind this shit where he can't. JP can't walk behind shit while he can with Sonic Blade into Light Fireball, Light Sonic Boom, sorry. But it's also in the sense where it's like he can, if he does, for example, Sonic Blade into EX, or sorry, OD Sonic Boom, it kind of just teleports across the screen and you fucking explode if you try to drink. But also like he has a lot of holes that he can't really correct. For example, if he does Spike, then you can like kind of just like slowly walk your way in. And Jimmy has also a lot of ways to counter, or not a lot, but he has ways to counter Ghost, for example, or like Spike, or like anything. For example, if you do Perfect Parry, and then you do Drive Rush Forward Heavy Kick, you'll punish the Spike at times. If you're like good enough spaced. Drive Rush Heavy Punch and Drive Rush Forward Heavy Kick is very good, as I said before, in this matchup. But it's also kind of like I just have to play the patient game, walk him down like these two. And he has better offense than him, in my opinion. But obviously he has unblockables with level 2, which is very strong. And then other than the unblockables, he's got a lot of like really good mix off the level 2. Obviously the instant overhead shit. I just don't think he has the stronger than Boom level zoning. I think Guile's best character in the game, probably tied with Luke. Very strong. And probably the matchup I know the most, Ken. I think Ken is probably, he's either here or like here. I think he's here. I think his drive rush is better. Ken is the exact same things as Luke. He has a strong fireball. I don't think it's as good as Luke's. Obviously he's got a strong fireball to stop you from doing anything. He's got a good drive rush. His crouch medium kick is longer than ours, so he can like do crouch medium kick and he'll beat us in footsies. Stand heavy punch is mad obnoxious because they can just do it, and then you have to punish with like sweep, for example, and also like it's very active and it's also kind of long. Surprisingly, stand heavy kick is strong. You can beat it with DI, but it has to be like you have to be quick with it, and you can't really react. You have to just kind of predict it at times. His pressure is extremely strong. With you know, he has like so many setups, immediate Jinrai, jump heavy punch bullshit. He's got so much strong stuff. But the reason why I think it's worse than Juri is because she has, you know, +2 medium punch, which is probably the best medium punch in the game in my opinion, the best plus and block normal. He's got a plus and block button, and also ways to make himself plus. He has meaty setups and stuff, but he doesn't really have ways to make him plus. It's kind of just like you have to kind of spend meter where they don't, so they can kind of continue their pressure where he can't. For example, Juri has you know, she can do like the medium punch, and then she can do another medium punch, or like crouch medium punch or crouch light punch. Where for example he has to do medium punch and then he has to wait his turn. Or if he does drive rush medium punch, then he'll have to do another medium punch for a frame trap, for example, or like something like that, right? So he has to spend meter to get his pressure. But overall, I don't think it's very bad in that sense. Let's double check this. I want to put him up there, honestly. I think I'm gonna put him up there just because I think Jamie has better normals overall. I think he's a very tail end. No, I'll change my mind. I'm gonna put him here, I think, because her fireball's way better than his Blanka-chan. But I think it's very obnoxious. You know what? I'm just gonna change my mind again. I may put him here or here. I think he's more obnoxious than Ryu, but she's more obnoxious in a footsies game. Blanka Ball just dies. Even if you don't perfect parry, you can kind of just like drive rush after, and you can get heavy punch, meet heavy punch, and then they have to hold that, unless they do EX, I think. And then there may be a way to counter that, but so far I haven't discovered anything. Because they have to do like OD up or like commit. And if you perfect parry, they explode. You can also do DP if you're very fast. So you're playing modern Jamie for some reason. I don't know why you would. And you can also perfect parry it, and then if you perfect parry, you get you know, the punish and everything. It's also kind of just like the Honda matchup, but the sense that he has an EX reversal and he has Blanka-chan, which is very good. So yeah, it can be obnoxious. But it's less obnoxious than Honda in the sense where Honda's like very gimmicky, but like good gimmicky. Well, not really good gimmicky, but like, you know, decent good gimmicky. He has, I think, less gimmicks than Honda. He has a lot more because he has the command grab, the jumping command grab and shit like that. But I think once you get to a high level, his gimmicks become more prominent than his. But he has just better. I think he's better overall in general. I think Dhalsim's. Well, I may put Luke. Actually, Dhalsim's. Nah, I'll put Dhalsim up here. I don't think people understand how good Dhalsim is with the fucking heavy kick and the zoning and shit. But then again, no EX reversal. so I may put him. He has a very good EX reversal too. I may put him above Ken, just for the sense that they can. Her drive rush is very strong and shit like that. She also has a very good shit. I think maybe I'll put him up here because you know EX reversal is very very bad, but just like he doesn't really need it if you it's so hard to get in. But with Luke, it's kind of just like hard to get in, and then it's hard to get in on Luke with like his fireball and OD fireball, but it's just like it's just tough. But let me just double check everything. I think you're fine. I think you're fine. I think maybe Lily's better than Honda. No, Lily's worse than Honda in a sense because she has to use meter to get in and shit and just die. He doesn't. I think she's better than. No, she's worse than Lily. And fighting Jamie, I think she's a better matchup for Jamie because of the shit I mentioned. She has better ways to get in. I think Rhea's good. Yeah, I think that's it. So I think this is the final matchup chart. And yeah, that's it. We're probably gonna post it on Twitter. Post it in a few in the Jamie Discord and stuff. And yeah, I hope the explanation was good, and I hope you enjoyed, especially the background Donkey Kong Country shit. It was fun. I didn't really do stuff like this. I do maybe matchup charts and post them to Twitter sometimes, but most of the time I don't really express opinions like this. But I think I've played so much of this game that I kind of have to at this point. And Jamie's very, very undocumented because there's a very, very few Jamie players, especially very few good Jamie players, especially like master rank Jamie players. And even if they're not master rank and they're good, because I don't think master rank. I think master rank means something, but it's also like you can kind of just get it, you know, if you just work hard enough. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. And maybe I'll upload some more like this in the future. Maybe I'll do some more with like the tier list and stuff. I made a tier list before, but I reset it on this. I don't really like doing the tier lists. If you want to know my opinions, I think these two are the best in the game. I think Zangief is the worst. If you don't know where I put Jamie, I think I put Jamie. I don't know. Some place that's higher than expected, but not high to the point where it's just like fucked. I think he's higher than Manon. Oh, I think he's higher than Manon, but not extremely high. I think he's like solid mid tier. Maybe lower mid tier, who knows? I think Manon's better, maybe. Who cares? But that's about it. I think Jamie's a good character. I think if you want to, I think every character in this game's good. Maybe Zangief is a tiny bit not very good. I think all of these characters do fine against Jamie. I think all of these Jamie does fine against all of these characters. It's just a bit hard. Maybe Dhalsim's a bit of a struggle, but maybe I'll put him here or here. No, I think I'll keep him there. I think Dhalsim's a bit of a struggle, but no EX reversal is very fucked. I think these three are actually like fucked up matchups. Like they're very hard, especially Guile. I think he's hard. I think he's like very hard. I think he's like super hard, and I think he's very easy to fight. I think this is the only matchup where Jamie kind of just fucks him up, just does whatever he wants, fake shit, whatever. And yeah, that's about it. And I'll post it on Twitter now. And yeah, I think that's it. So peace.